Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Cornix, and welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game I played for a week and then I talk about it. This week's game is Donkey Kong Land for the Gameboy. It was released in 1995 and it's a single-player platformer developed by Rare and published by Nintendo. And also, be spoilers up ahead just so you know, but first a little backstory. So I forgot to mention something last week about the games that I got, the Gameboy games I got from my sister. Apparently I'm very lucky because the inside internal backup memory, the battery memory, was working on this one as well. So I had a lot of fun this week actually revisiting my old save files and stuff. So the plot of this game is really stupid. Apparently Kranky Kong made a bet with Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong about replicating the formula from DKC, Donkey Kong Country, on a handheld 8-bit console. In so doing, hoaxing or letting the Kremlins actually retake the banana horde, and this plot is absolutely stupid and it's absolutely four-wall breaking. So an interesting thing about the cartridge itself is that it's yellow. So a couple of Game Boy games did this. You have Pokemon Red, which is red, Pokemon Blue, which is blue, and Pokemon Gold and Silver, they had respective colors of that nature. Usually Game Boy cards are actually just gray and very boring. So if you start up the game, you get logos on the title screen, and then you get Randy, Rhino, Donkey Kong and Diddy just standing there, and if you wait a bit, you get a long demo displaying gameplay. Once you get into the game, you can select between 3 save files, and the way that you save in this game is by collecting the Kong letters in each of the levels. So level 1 is the jungle, and you pick up coins and bananas, and the coins are used in a minigame where a barrel shoots out, coins, and if you collect a coin, you get an extra heart. You also get extra hearts from collecting balloons. You also collect bananas, and once you collect 100 bananas, you get an extra life. So at the beginning of the game, it's very easy to farm extra lives. There are also bonus rooms. They're a bit different from the original Donkey Kong. You, in the jungle area at least, you drop down on these black hollowed out spots and you crack the ground open, if that makes sense, and a rope will appear. And if you climb up that rope, you will enter the bonus area where you can collect bananas and stuff like that. You also have the classic DK barrels, which is bonus rooms in of themselves. Oh, I actually got that wrong. The DK barrels are actually containing either Donkey Kong or Diddy Kong, depending on who you play as, so you get an extra hit. The enemies of the first level are the basic types. You have the Kremlins, you have snakes, and Rami the Rhino is actually playable in the first level as well. So mid-level there is a checkpoint, so if you die after touching the checkpoint, you'll start right there. And at the end of the level there's a portal looking thing that will, end the level. So on the map screen, when you select between the different levels, the levels themselves actually looks like donuts, and I never thought about it as a kid, but as an adult I apparently do. So the second level is the snow level. It introduces badgers and flying pigs, and also of course ice physics. The third level introduces yet another jungle level, but this time you swing on vines. I don't know about the consistency of the levels. You have ice levels, you have water levels, and sometimes even the bonus levels which you go through are different themed than the level you are on. It's kind of crazy and all over the place. Level 4 is the ship, so you climb to the top of the ship, avoiding vultures that spit out coconuts. And here's where I encountered my first bonus barrel, and also the second one. So the second one introduces Espresso the ostrich, so he can kind of glide through the air in a bonus room area at least. And at the end of the level you get a bomb, and the bomb is used to blow up a path like a boulder blocking. So you can take 2 paths, if that makes sense. So I went with the top path, but you can also go down the bottom path, so there are different levels to that. So the next level is an ice level, so you have these hovering kind of vines descending from the top of the screen. You try to avoid these bees called singers, and another section of the level is blasting between barrels. The next level is yet another ship level, so there's a skip barrel right at the beginning of the stage using a flying pig as a springboard. So the next level is a jungle level yet again, and another snow level after that, and then you have some annoying barrel blasting segments. And then the boss of this world is a manta flying through the air. I guess mantas can fly in this game. So you bounce on it a couple of times, and that is that. And then it's time for World 2. So the first level is an Aztec themed one with really good music, and the second level is an underwater Aztec level, and the music is also really good here. And then you have level 3, which is the classic underwater stage with the music, which is pretty similar to the DKC one. And then the pattern of the levels kind of loop from there. And the boss of this level is a clam. So this clam shoots pearls, and you reflect it with another clam, if that makes sense, in order to hit the boss. Do this a couple of times and it's done. And now it's time for World 3. So the first level is a cave system with tires that you can bounce on. So the music here reminded me of Battletoads. So this game actually has two composers and they kind of bounce off each other pretty well. One is going for the more classical DK vibe, with the others kind of try something else, which is refreshing. On the next level, you platform on a mountain slide with rocks falling down. And the next stage is a cloud stage where you are on a set path on a hovering pad while singers in the way. So the other stages kind of follow this concept on. And the boss of this level is a mole that you need to jump on his head when he throws his construction hat. And now it's time for the final world, the city. So you jump on rooftops, ledges and balloons. And the first world is, at least the world map I guess, has a DK Zeppelin. So the gimmick on this level is you collect the Kong letters, but instead of giving you, a chance to save, you actually get... They basically make bridges so you can cross gaps. The second level has you climbing a construction site. The third one is revisiting the Zeppelin. And the other levels, just as I said before, they kind of echo the same concept. And the final boss is King K. Rool, I guess. You avoid his crown while he throws it and you jump on his head. His pattern changed a bit, but overall he's just, what do you call it, like a bullet sponge. So yeah, it takes time, but you can wear him out easily. So gameplay: help Diddy and Donkey Kong prove Kranky wrong by beating King K. Rool and taking all the bananas back. Control: the D-pad is movement, the A button jumps, the B button is roll or cartwheel depending on which Kong you have selected. And you can select between the Kongs by pressing the select button, the start button pauses, and that's about it. Graphics: so just like DKC, the graphics were rendered in a computer and converted into sprites to fit the cartridge itself. So a problem with this is that the Game Boy is a monotone screen. It has colors between white to black, and it's really hard to see what goes on the screen sometimes. Sound and music: David Wise and Graham Norgate made the soundtrack for this game. So they took the original DKC soundtrack and converted it to the Game Boy sound chip. And I think the sounds really good actually. So you have themes as skyscraper, building, construction site and mountains. Really good tracks. Give them a listen on YouTube. Easter egg secrets and glitches. So each level has one or two bonus rooms or barrels, and sadly you get nothing for 100% in the game. But I watched a YouTube long play of this game where someone played it. I forgot the name at the top of my head, but he beat the game within a little bit over an hour, 100% in the game and doing it damageless, and that's just super crazy. So in conclusion, I wrote, yes, try it if you're curious. So the gameplay feels really good, the music sounds great. It's a little bit hard to differentiate between the enemies, the backgrounds, and the Kongs at times because it's a really tiny screen and it's monotone, so you have that grayscale going on. But if I would to do a recommendation, I would say play the original Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo instead, because that's a much better game in my opinion. So anyway, thanks for listening and or watching, and take care.